On this episode, we talk about finding a mentor, building a thrift store, and building your team.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 36 of the AskEngine show. We are we're always excited. We're enthusiastic to have David here. David is from AskEngine, which is a company that is near and dear to our hearts. David, give us like a 30-second spiel on AskEngine and who you are, and then we'll get kicked in. So you're our first guest.
First guest?
First
Oh,
guest.
wow.
Yeah. We're going to give you a t-shirt afterwards.
Yes. Well, you guys were our first investors, or Hayseed was our first investor. So.
There you go.
So AskEngine is an education technology company based in Little Rock, Arkansas. We work with K-12 school districts on building an online identity. So that could be building a website, building a mobile app, and we have a kind of proprietary communication tool called ThrillShare that lets them update all their communications from one place.
And how did you get involved with AskEngine?
So I met Justin when I was in college. I was working on an ed tech startup of my own, and then was working on that, decided not to go forward with that business, and then he was hiring at that time and raising the first round of funding for AskEngine, and so I was in the first group of employees. There were about 5 of us back then, and now we're at 65 people. Working with about 400 school districts across the country.
That's amazing. So we kind of have a similar story then of working on something and then moving into a bigger company. That's awesome. Yeah. Very cool. Got 3 questions for you today. Yeah. Blake, let's kick in on them.
First question. This user on Quora wants to know, what's the best way to find a successful entrepreneurial mentor as a teenager that's eager to make innovative ideas a reality?
Yeah, so I think that it goes back into, what you just said. If you're looking for a mentor, you just, go find one. It's a very simple question. As a teenager, you need to build a list of the people that you want to be around, and then just go ask. I think Steve Jobs is quoted as saying, he never didn't get what he asked for. So you just got to be willing to go in and ask. What would you recommend for a teenager? How would you actually facilitate that ask?
So 2 things I would say. One is do something. So be working on an active project. Yeah. Don't just be looking for a mentor. If someone came and said, will you be my mentor? I'd be kind of weirded out. But if they said, I need help with this, how do I do this? So ask specific questions. Don't go looking for specific people, but rather try to actually solve something. And so starting anything. So doing an event at your school, starting a little startup of your own, doing an e-commerce site, any little project that you're working on, if you're actively trying to promote that project, that's a much better way to build relationships and having specific questions you're asking for.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I would say be intentional about what you want from your mentor as well. If you just say, hey, I need a mentor, and then there's dead silence, ask, hey, I need a mentor for product management because I'm trying to understand how to build better XYZ. Be super intentional about what you're wanting out of that relationship, and kind of set those goals clearly with your mentor. Otherwise, it may just fizzle or turn into we hang out and get lunch every once in a while.
Yeah, and when you're a teenager as well, maybe think about, because if you're going to anyone who's remotely successful is very much going to value their time, and a lot of times mentors push people off not because they think they're too good or think they're that, but they don't think they can help the person because the person hasn't gotten to where they can be helped. So if you're thinking about it, especially as a teenager, maybe just go in and figure out how you can be around someone. If you're a teenager looking to get into e-commerce in Northwest Arkansas, I highly, highly, highly recommend you figure out anything that you can do to come sit in this office, because the minds that are here, you're going to learn something just through osmosis of being in the same room, picking up on conversations. So at that age, figure out a way that you can come in and maybe not take of their time, but be able to just be in their presence at some point.
Question number 2, another one from Quora. This person's asking, can you open a thrift store with little money? So this is a little more entrepreneurial minded, and I like it.
Yeah. So yes, you can. So I think the concept of a thrift store has to be liquid here, and what I mean by that is that, and the reason that I picked this question is right here is, literally Gary Vee talked about on the Breakfast Club about the 2017 Flip Challenge, which is taking stuff from your house. Or taking stuff that's free on Craigslist and flipping it for $1. This is just pure hustle. So yes, I mean, take stuff and understand what it costs on Amazon, eBay, and can you arbitrage against Facebook Marketplace, Let Go, different communities that you can then sell something on. So I mean, it's as simple as going and find something that you can sell, hopefully get it for free, and then flip it for $1, and then repeat that process.
Well, and realize too that you don't need to set up a pop-up shop. You don't need a Shopify store for this. Like, you can do this on the backs of other platforms that already have traffic, like
Craigslist, eBay, Amazon, Let Go. Do you know any others?
That's pretty full.
Other
There's
app,
options.
Facebook Marketplace. I mean, literally anything that you can transact and arbitrage sales is where you want to go there. But good luck with it.
Yeah, last question on r/startups. This user Clash Tofar asks about building a team. Basically, he wants to know, aside from just reaching out through referrals or personal connections, are there any resources that would be a more kind of a graduated version of a job site where you're not looking for employees, but you're looking for people with industry expertise willing to venture into a startup? So more of a focused job board around people who have entrepreneurial mindsets.
Yeah. So you've got two people here who have both built, 50 plus people person teams. So what do y'all think about?
Man, posting out on a job board or Indeeding something is really not how I've found kind of the best team members. For me, in my personal experience, it's either been word of mouth or it's been people coming up to me and reaching out to me like, hey, do you have any sort of job? I want to work with you because I have a passion about what you're doing. That has had far more leads than any Indeed, Upwork, whatever postings I've ever created. I don't know about you, David.
Yeah, so we probably are about, of our top employees, probably 70% came in through referrals, but we do get 30% that are coming in through Indeed and just random people that are looking for jobs. So we kind of find both of those channels to be really important. But definitely I would say of our top people, most of them come through referrals.
Well, and talk about your Instagram strategy, because this is something that you and I had a discussion. I don't even remember how long ago it was, but you're using Instagram as essentially a propaganda for the culture of your company.
Yeah.
And you do an amazing job. Literally, I want to go get a Nerf gun and come up on Fridays and just go to town on somebody. So, talk about that, because, you're one of the first SaaS companies and one of the first technology companies I've ever seen leverage a social channel for something that's not sales directly.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people think that they have to be consistent across social media, and they have to say, we'll post and, maybe the same thing on Facebook and Twitter. Sometimes they'll say we'll reformat things for Twitter or Facebook, but you can actually just segment out completely and say we're going to use Instagram for recruiting and hiring people. And so we kind of think of Instagram as that window into the company and something that you can give people a look and a feel of what it's like. You can use videos, you can use photos. It's such a great storytelling platform. And so we find in about over half of our first phone screens, when we say, why do you want to work at Aptitude? They say, I love your company culture. I love what you post on Instagram. And so that's been just a great way for us to recruit people and to show off, showing off our culture on that platform and only using it for that.
Yeah, perfect. I think that's amazing. I don't have experience building a massive team, so I can't talk directly on this, but I think the best way that you build a massive team is, it's just like with any SaaS company, customer success begets more growth. And the same thing when it comes to your employees. If your employees are successful and they're happy where they're at, they feel nurtured, they feel loved, they feel that they are equipped to do their job, I think that you're no longer going to have to worry about finding more people to join your company.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we end with a question of the day, David. So you've got the pleasure of asking our audience a question. What would you like to ask them?
Oh, I get to ask the question? How do you target very small markets? That's what we're trying to figure out today.
There you go.
So we're doing B2B sales and targeting a very small group of people.
Perfect.
It's challenging.
The right hook on the question. So how do you target small markets? Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.